Never in doubt, Jake.
Oh.
Never in doubt. This is my favorite phrase in the playoffs, though. A commanding 3-1 series lead, right? 3-0, the series is over. But 3-1 is commanding and in convincing fashion as well.
These assholes, dude. These assholes, man. Why did they do this to us? I mean, okay, Donovan Mitchell out. And every single Celtics fan in the entire world was like, this is a disaster. This is worse. There's no question that if Donovan Mitchell plays this game, they win by 18. I have no doubt in my mind that if he plays this game, they come out, they bring the requisite everything, and instead we get the whatever you call, I don't even know what to call these Celtics, the bad habit Celtics.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, like the addiction Celtics. Like they every time you think they've beat it, it's like, you're using again, aren't you? You're going slow again in crunch time, aren't you? So part of me is like trying to think like, okay, there was probably 3 minutes where it was truly horrible. They did generate some wide open threes that they also just missed. So I don't want to overreact too much, but that 3-minute stretch is inexcusable. Like, you just cannot do that as you get deeper into the playoffs. And it ain't Joe, because I watched Joe on the sidelines. He is swinging his arm telling them to go, and they just don't, dude. I don't get it.
How are they still, do they still not know that the pace is the thing? They miss Porzingis so much more than you said it yesterday on the pod. Like, they miss Porzingis more than I thought. And I was like, I think they miss him about as much as I thought, but I did think it would be easier than it has been without him. Nick Gelso, the CLNS boss in the chat here, good win. Hey, any win in the playoffs is a good win, so you're technically right. But goddamn, man, they did not make this easy. Jason Tatum ends up 33, 11, 5, 2 steals, a block, 4 turnovers. They end up with 14 turnovers in the game. I think 10 of those in the first half. So they cleaned that part of it up. I don't know about you. If we had lost this game, I would have felt like I was going to just self-combust and explode into a billion pieces. I don't feel that much better, like, physically right now than I would after like a normal week. After game 3, I felt amazing. I felt great. Yeah. Not like after winning game 3 or in game 4 in Miami, felt great, felt amazing. This one was like, oh my God, man, these guys are still in there. We got a couple of friendly whistles. I mean, the Jaylen Brown flagrant. I was saying that's more like, I was like, is he going to be ejected for that? And ends up being just a common foul as opposed to the flagrant for grabbing Struce's ankle. And then Horford's one gets overturned at the end, which I'm stunned they overturned that.
I thought it was pretty clean. You and Robbie were less confident. I actually thought we had a pretty decent chance of getting that one overturned, but we definitely got, I think the rim contact was not particularly consistent, and we definitely benefited from the inconsistency. But also, like, Cleveland is much smaller than us on the wing. Like, they have to kind of defend physically, and you're just going to get more fouls that way. Let's talk about some good things, though, right?
Look, we did win the game. We are up 3-1. There was some good in here. Go ahead.
Jrue Holiday, dude. I think we got to start with Jrue. Yeah. He was this might have been his best game in a Celtics uniform, and I think we just said that after game 3 as well. Yep. So 16, 7, 5, 3 steals, a block, and 2 turnovers, which is like, okay, but he had more ball handling duties than I think normally, and he was 6-11, dude, 4 for 8 from 3. And I thought defensively he was incredible, man. Like, he was all over. And Garland is the type of guard that's given him fits this year, where he's just a little quicker and shifty. My God, was he awesome. His screen navigation was crazy.
Dude, the way that and this is what we talked about with Mobley coming into the series, is like, he's just not Bam. And he sets more legal screens, but he does not set physical screens. And the way that Jrue gets into his body and, like, he doesn't even have to get around the screen. He's just going through these screens, and he's both moving the screen setter back and he's moving the ball handler back. Like, they're just crashing into Jrue Holiday and they're just bouncing off him. The Great Wall of Holiday, absolutely in effect today. He stole Derek White's powers, it feels like a little bit. I don't know what.
Yeah, can they both just play well on the same game one time? Dude, please do that in game 5.
Because if we get this version of Jrue Holiday, and we get just the version of Derek White that we've had for the entire season and for most of the playoffs up until the last 3 games. I don't know what's happened to him, but I mean, Jrue Holiday, monster game, 6 for 11, 4 for 8 from 3, big pull-up threes, big corner threes. 2 games in a row now, he's been elite shooting the ball. His 3-point percentage was like the one number that has mostly maintained into tonight anyway. Like, coming into tonight, he was 37.5% from 3, and then he goes 4 for 8. So like, he's actually, that piece of the game has been still there, not at the same level that it was in the regular season, but now you have 2 games in a row where he's on fire from 3. And goddamn, did you need it tonight, man? You needed physicality, you needed energy, and you needed someone to put the ball in the basket. And Jrue Holiday was this guy. Yes, this is why you trade for Jrue Holiday. Not the playoff version of Jrue Holiday. We actually got the idealized version of Jrue Holiday tonight. And this is a big thing going forward. Like, if he can maintain this level of play, this level of confidence, he's getting confident down low as well. Like, he's getting matchups down low. He's hitting people with pump fakes, little Kevin McHale action, torture chamber stuff, and finishing at the rim, which is nice. Still much better percentage from, I think, 3 than from 2 tonight, but which we'll take. But yeah, 2-way monster, and you needed it. You absolutely needed it tonight.
Yeah, dude. And you're right. He had that one, like, it was like he was driving left and he pump faked and then he drop stepped and he finished it. I think it was against Strus or Dean Wade. Yeah, that's a filthy move, man. But I'm still like scarred from Holiday's finishing that I expect him to miss every single layup he basically takes. But he's been pretty good. And I mean, he has not been pretty good. He's been amazing. And then even finishing around the rim, like, I don't even care if that comes back as long as the 3-point shooting sticks around 40%. So he was awesome. Derek was not. Tatum was also friggin' awesome.
I would say, weirdly, last game he goes 33 points, 13 boards, 6 assists, 5 turnovers, 11 for 25 from the field. Today, 33 points, 11 boards, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, 4 turnovers, 11 for 25 from the field, like 2 for 8 from 3, 9 for 9 from the line, like the exact same shooting numbers as the game before. So the 3-point shot, the numbers haven't been good the last 2 games, but it feels like I'm actually not worried about his 3. I just need him to start taking better 3s. Like, how many possessions are just like, they get down to 5 seconds on the shot clock and he's got to create a terrible 3. He's just got to be, he's not hunting that shot as much as I think he should be. And it's frustrating because he's still ending up taking the same amount of pull-up 3s, but he should be hunting for it and taking cleaner pull-up 3s, because the times where it looks like he's actually hunting it and he's confidently taking it, they're going in. There's been a bunch of these shots where he's just not there. He's not, and then he decides, okay, now I've got to get to it. And it's like he knows that he shouldn't be taking it, when it's like, no, this is a shot that we believe in. This is a shot that has been like so powerful for you in the playoffs many times. Like, you should still be hunting this shot. And so that, it feels like a weird push and pull he's having mentally with that specific shot. Defensively, I thought he was excellent. The playmaking was excellent. Him and Luke had some good chemistry. It was just a pace thing for him late. I wonder if he was tired actually tonight.
I bet.
I think that he ended up playing 44 minutes tonight, and we needed it. And thank God they won this game, because I do think that we need to start ramping him specifically up. He needs to start to get a little more comfortable playing some higher minute games, and he has 2 in a row here with only 1 night off. And we said it in the post game. It's like, just fucking load him up with the minutes, dude. Like,
yeah, who cares?
Just load him up with the minutes and get out of the series. Just load him up with the minutes and get out of the series. And I don't think you stole necessarily this one, But you got this one, and you go up 3-1 back to the fortress. Obviously, there's the garden.
Yeah, that 500 fortress. And on Tatum being a little tired, I think that is probably the case. Merton, Eric, dude, thank you so much. If it wasn't for Jrue and Tatum, I feel like we would be down 1-3. Yes, sure. Definitely. But Tatum is our best player, so without him, we're pretty screwed no matter what. But I two things on Tatum. One, defensively, he's guarding Mobley for 30 minutes a night, dude. And that is difficult to do. Yeah, I know where you're going to go. And another thing, real quick, he's getting forced into a bunch of mid-range pull-ups, which is just not his shot. We've been talking about it all playoffs, really. Yeah. But it's because they're just not guarding Al Horford from three. They're just ignoring him, and with good reason, because it's working. I think he's under 20% from three at this point in the series now after tonight. And so, you want him to turn baseline, you want him to drive middle, but Mobley's just there. Yeah. So you're probably not working yourself into a decent shot. And lots of times there's 5 on the shot clock when he gets into that post up, which that's the problem. But then he's just forced basically to go to a mid-range jumper. But yeah, defensively, go ahead, Jake. I know you've got a take on Tatum defensively.
Okay, you said it. We're putting Tatum on Mobley. He's guarding Mobley the majority of the time. So what is the point of having Horford out there when he's playing the way that he is? He's not spacing the floor. He's not punishing the way that they're guarding him because he's missing. Man, so brutal to watch Horford miss these wide open corner threes.
No, man.
How many big monster shots has Horford hit on those shots in the playoffs? And he's just not able to hit any of them. Even if he was hitting 30%, we could live with it. But he wasn't able to punish them at all. 2 games in a row, he is now 0 for 10 from 3 over the last 2 games, and that's brutal. So you're putting Tatum at the 5 defensively anyway for a lot of this. You've got him on Mobley. So you've got Al on the perimeter guarding Okoro, and Al's not even closing out that hard on him anyway, but Okoro's just going straight to the rim. He didn't really kill you too much, but they're going right at him on the other end. He's not giving you advantages offensively. I want to see Tatum at the 5. That's my main thing that I want to at least see in this matchup. I kind of understand Joe not going to it because they didn't do it in the regular season. I can at least understand it. Why have we seen 0 Tillman 2 games in a row?
Yeah, I don't know, because when he was in that cameo, was it game 2 where he got that 7-minute stint? I thought he looked good defensively. And if Al's not making threes, he's not impactful on offense either. And they're not guarding him, which they're not. That's how they're going to treat Tillman. So you might as well go to the guy that can switch. And you have Al on Okoro, so he can help off of Okoro at the rim, and he can just kind of muck up their offense. But he's not really doing that either. So, the move is you might as well, a lot of Tillman love in the chat. 23 seconds of Tatum at the 5, actually.
Dude, it's a sick joke. It's a sick fucking joke, Joe
Mazzulla. On it.
How dare you go to Tatum at the 5 for the last 12 seconds of the game? Unbelievable. Go ahead.
But isn't the move just to, if you're going to play Horford, put Horford on Mobley, and then let Tatum just roam? He's the best player on the team getting into passing lanes. He's blocking the shit out of shots. They only credit him for 1 tonight, but he impacted a lot of shots at the rim. I tweeted about this today. Players are shooting 6.5% worse when Tatum's guarding them on shots around the rim. So let him be the roamer if you're going to do that. And then, they're going to do the Mobley Horford, or the Mobley Garland pick and roll with Horford on Mobley, but then you can trap that, or you can hedge it really hard because Mobley, Okoro, he's not a great attacking off the bounce. He's better than Evan Mobley is at it. So I think at least try that instead of what we're doing right now, because Al's just kind of in no man's land defensively right now.
I wonder if it's the ultimate bend don't break. Is Joe holding some of this stuff in his back pocket? I think that might be giving him too much of a benefit of the doubt, and it is worrying me a little bit with Joe. There feels obvious adjustments to be made in this matchup, especially a game like today. You're clearly looking for some kind of energy, some kind of spark, something to lock in. I wonder if you go to Tatum at the 5. Brissett, someone in the chat said just now, Brissett, when you're looking for energy and if you just want to, in the first half, the Cavs shot 25 threes. It was kind of stunning that the Cavs actually weren't winning the first half. You had them go 44% on 25 3-point attempts, and the Celtics turned the ball over 10 times, and they were still down 5. And I was like, that feels like kind of a miracle. They actually cleaned those two things up. The problem is the Celtics just were giving up all kinds of stuff defensively, and then offensively, it was just so clunky throughout. What did they end up with from 3? Ended up like, if you're telling 37% from 3, you should be winning the game. Again, though, 32 attempts from 3 versus Cleveland's 48. And this is where you miss Porzingis.
Yep.
Like, there's
it all
a lot
goes
of
back to KP.
Yeah, and that was the point. And it's hard in the moment, but I still believe it. Like, the Celtics can make the finals without Porzingis. There's just going to be a lot of this. This team is like far from being perfect. Even with Porzingis, they're not perfect. But like, he deserved to be an all-star. He was one of the highest impact players in the NBA this year. Like, you're just missing a top 25, top 30 player. And you're not only just missing the talent, you're missing the way that he fits with this team and the way that he unlocks this team. Like, from a confidence, from a spacing perspective, you're not getting the pick and pops. You're not getting the easy offense. And then defensively, you miss him. You're really starting to miss him now. Like, just that extra body, if he's going to be refusing to go to Tillman or refusing to go to somewhere else. I mean, was Luke Cornette better than Al Horford tonight?
I think you could probably make a pretty good argument. I mean, he was like 9 and 6. I thought he does a really good job of just like shepherding guys to the rim and contesting without fouling. I think he got once by Evan Mobley on a pump fake, but other than that, he's just standing there, tall, moves his feet as best he can, and makes guys finish over him. And most of the time they don't. And it looks really hard when they do. Like, Mobley had 1 or 2 finishes over him that it's like, all right, dude, if he's going to hit that, he's going to hit that. We just got to live with it. And then offensively, they're really ignoring him like big time. So we got to figure out a way, whether it's like pick and roll, high pick and roll with Tatum and Cornette, and get Cornette rolling. Cause then the corner help's going to have to come because, it's going to be really difficult for how they're defending Tatum pick and rolls for Mobley to get back to him and stop the lob. So then you're probably hitting kicks for corner shots. So, but it's just really difficult without KP, with Mobley just ignoring any center we play. And he is just camped out at the rim. We probably could have got a few defensive 3-second calls tonight. There was one time Tristan Thompson was in the lane for like 8 seconds, nowhere near Luke Cornette. But you got to figure out a way to get something from them and at least make Cleveland think about them being on the court offensively, because it's like 4-on-5 right now.
I mean, going back to Derek, like, he was so good with Cornette in the pick and roll all season long, man.
Yeah.
Like, what has happened to him? Like, the quick decisions are gone on like all the little screening actions, like at the top of the key when Cleveland's switching and you're finding like a little sliver of space. You got to hit those passes quickly and you can get downhill. Derek is just waiting a beat too late. He's not trusting himself. And then it's like, well, we may as well not have even run that action. All we've done is waste 5 seconds on the shot clock. He's getting downhill on these pick and rolls. And I mean, he's the king of the wonky floater typically, but even these floaters look even worse. And then it's probably mentally they're not going in, so they look worse. But like, he doesn't look on balance, doesn't look confident. He did hit one big 3 late. He ends up 1 for 4 from 3. The good thing I will say for Derek, he didn't have any turnovers, but the problem with the no turnovers thing, that goes back to what I'm saying with the hesitancy thing. I almost wish that he had 1 or 2 turnovers, because he's just playing so hesitant that he's waiting. It's like, well, yeah, sure. You can not turn the ball over if you're not going to, try anything. Like, the Cavs are still playing defense. But yeah, Cornette, like, they shouldn't be able to ignore him that much. I mean, Jalen had 1 lob to Cornette. Like, he just stood there, run a screen. He didn't even probe. He just threw the lob, and both guys went to Cornette. And I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck's going on here?
Tatum hit him once for a nice one though.
Yes, Jalen had some nice. I mean, Tatum had some great playmaking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Garden Report is live, Jake, so we should probably get some final thoughts out there, and then we will jump off.
You go. Give me a final thought.
Yeah, I think, look, we're going back home. It just feels like really important to wrap this up in 5. Yeah, it was an ugly win. but you're going to have games like this in the playoffs where you just don't have it and you got to grind out a win. And you're right. Like the second I saw Mitchell was out, my stomach dropped. I'm like, oh no, like we're going to do the thing that we always do. And we did, but they ultimately won the game. I felt like they did get back to decent process at the very end of the game, almost before it was too late, but they had some decent possessions where like Tatum was hitting guys in the short roll. He hit Jalen, who did that
weird offensive
that weird foul on Garland that wasn't a foul, but that's a good possession to get Jalen downhill on the short roll. So I hope that they learn from this. They need to take something away from it and never do it again, but I feel like I know better than that.
Yeah. I think it's hard to not have the PTSD rip open some old wounds, even though they won this game. But I think the big takeaway for me, going to lean positive, Jrue Holiday 2 games in a row here, looking really fucking awesome. I think that's really important. They won the game, back up 3-1, going back to Boston, which don't make this an Atlanta Hawks thing. You took care of business against Miami in Game 5, and you really brought it. Bring it in Boston. Show the fans that you care about them. Win this game. Close this thing out while the Knicks and the Pacers beat the crap out of each other.
Yes, that would be awesome. I've been saying it for a while. Celtics in 5. Please just do this thing in the Garden. But we are out. Are you guys doing late night tonight, or Ben's out of pocket, right?
So it's me and Sam LaFrance. We're gonna do late night a bit later. Yeah, so we'll be live after the Garden Report at some point.
Yeah. All right. For the immediate reaction, we are out.
I love this.